Wow, we're here, man. We're here. It is Saturday, December 31st here on the East Coast of the United States, just after noon. I am Dr. Evil Genius.
And I, and I am Captain Paul. So, Evil, how you doing, man? Happy New Year's, brother. Happy New Year's. New
Yeah,
Year's.
this is one of those times of the year, man, that get you thinking about your life. I'm not a New Year's guy. I don't really get involved in any stuff, but I found myself waking up this morning feeling in a particularly contemplative.
Mm.
I was in a particularly contemplative state today, and really, got me thinking about my family and myself, and because now we're moving into my age 40 year,
Mm.
so uh, it really gets me thinking about a lot of things, Cap, and I thought about a lot of what happened this year. We really tried to do a lot
Mm.
to really boost this platform. We had this idea, and we struggled for a long time to get it on track. And this was like really the first year where we were just thumping out content, right? I mean, even when things was, we had some rough spaces,
Mm.
physically, mentally, emotionally, some family stuff, uh, various things. There's a lot of things that we tried to do this
Mm.
year, and I think that I really wanted to do this live stream today. Also, later on in the live stream, we will discuss Pope Benedict XVI, who passed away uh, earlier today,
Mm.
and discuss the legacy, because I know that,
It's an interesting legacy.
yeah,
To
your
put it
Catholic
nicely.
faith is very important to you, Cap,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I wanted to start off by first saying, because people are going to watch this later on, hopefully. I want to make it very, very clear that, and I can very confidently speak for Kat here when I say thank you,
Mm.
because the support that we get on this platform makes it possible for us to continue to work on this project.
Mm.
It's hard, man.
Mm.
It's fucking difficult, and I'm just very, very thankful that we get the kind of support.
Support, love, man. Like the people that come down and mess with us on the channel, like we see a lot of familiar faces, and this is just kind of a spur of the moment stream, and you're gonna guys gonna be seeing a lot more of this in the next year, and it's just kind of it's great. Like we have familiar faces like Jimmy Dean, we have Dan Jensen who's in the chat right now
Hmm.
actually.
Yeah.
We have Simplistic. We have so many people I could probably not name them all off the top of my head, but thank you for coming by, supporting the channel. New subscribers, we really appreciate you subscribing and checking out the content because listen, we're gonna have a lot of it, and this is a year in review type video. I mean, we have a lot to talk about if you really think about it. A lot of
Oh
shit
yeah.
happened this past year, not just for us on the channel, each of us individually, and also just in the world as a whole. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's one of those things like New Year's. I'm not a big holiday, like I'm not a big New Year's person, right? Like some of them people go out, get crazy, get drunk, start like fucking lampposts naked or some shit. I'm not that dude. I'm not gonna go get wild for New Year's. It's like it's a ball drop. It's just another day to me. But
Yeah.
at the same sense, right? It is a time to reflect and be like, all right, man, like how did this year go? I mean, there was ups and downs, but let's look at the positives. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it's been a very good year in a lot of sense. Very trying year for me at times. especially since July on, dealing with this injury and everything that's all the headaches that have come with it. Yeah, it's just it gives you a healthy perspective on things and helps you keep like a balance. So,
Right. I wanted to kind of first, I want to do the thanks first. You mentioned some of the names. Bruce Bobtrotter comes to mind.
hmm
We have David Banner. Everybody that comes through the Filthy Casual MMA watch party. You guys are so consistent in showing up and showing the. Uh, I don't know. You're just here. And I cannot. I guess the word loyalty comes to mind.
mm,
Many of you that come through here and support the platform as viewers, when you really could be doing anything else
mm,
with your time. That means a lot to me personally. We get a couple of guys that are like on the Facebook side that show up.
yeah, yeah,
There's some people that only show up on the Twitch stream, but our YouTube people are like they keep it so lit in the chat. So the viewers, even the people that come here and hate.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
We appreciate you.
yeah, we still appreciate y'all anyway. And, we'll get into some individual things. There were a couple of things that I wanted to go over that I wanted to make videos about this stuff later on. Blind Bat always showing love. Blind Bat is a very important person to me
Mm,
personally. And, through his own trials and tribulations, he's always showing support, sometimes silently, but always showing support to the platform. Next up, I want to acknowledge people who have had um a huge impact on the content that we do here. First of all, I want to, and I know, the history that we have, and he's not here in the chat right now, but I got to give some love to our old producer, editor, Clinks.
mm.
We were really like struggling to like put stuff together. I mean, I'm even looking at the thumbnails that he used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Have we like gone past that stuff? Absolutely, right? But man, he really helped us launch this platform. Now, you could say, well, there was some issues with work ethic and attention to detail and, doing the things that you say you're going to do, all that stuff, right? But at the same time, um, I'm not even sure that I'm not sure that this project still exists, even to get to this point,
Mm.
if not for Clink's work. And
No,
Clink still does help out behind the scenes, like way
Clink,
in the background.
Clinks. I mean, listen, I give Clinks a lot of shit because there's still probably like around 50 commentaries done. He's never finished, never fucking did. But he was a vital part and kind of the helped. He was the beginning of the process of us trying to get our feet wet back into the content creating scene. And I think it would be remiss if we don't mention how a valued member Clinks is. I give him shit, and he's a young kid, so I feel like I have to give him shit. You have to teach him, but I mean, I think he was he still is a vital part of this team, and I really hope the best for him. And I know that going forward we'll have some things still cooperating together. But yeah, you can't talk about TSP without some of the vital things that Clinks did help out with on the channel. And it might have took a year, but he got he got the Steam Deck shit for you done. So
You stupid.
it must it took a year. It took an act of God. It took the Pope dying, but it was finally here.
It's time.
I mean, but better late than never, right?
Damn straight.
So I want to thank some other people as well. I really want to thank Rolling Diary and Mrs. Evil. Let's flash her comment back up on the screen. Okay. When we were having a lot of problems with our workflow, both in, keeping schedules, keeping the motivation up, because we were trying to get stuff done. It was not getting done on a timely scale. And we're like, what are we doing here? We're losing 2 subscribers a week. The content's not going up. And they kind of took it on themselves. Now, I have, obviously, it's very personal for me, because for more than 10 years, Gina, who now edits the videos, she has been a part of our relationship family. And this coming April will be 17 years with Mrs. Evil. Okay. Now, I've had a lot of ideas on how to find something that I'm passionate about and turn it into something productive. And I can tell you that no matter how zany my ideas are, they hear me out and they support me in whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Sometimes when it costs money, we put the money up. Sometimes when it costs time and attention, or, they sacrifice that and let me do what I got to do. Right. Even from back in the days when I was trying to come up, gameplay commentary when I met you. Right. But they have, we were a rudderless ship. Right.
Bro, we didn't even have an engine working at
You
some
know what I'm
points.
saying? We were rudderless.
Yeah, we were
right?
just drifting in the fucking current. Like, it was,
Yeah. And, Gina's like, yo, I can do this. I can, look, and I remember she made the very first thumbnail that me and you, the very first collaboration we did like 10 years ago. She made the thumbnail for it, and I was just like mind blown, like, because I couldn't do anything like what she was able to do, right?
Right.
And then she's like, hey, I can make the thumbnails, don't worry about it. I can make thumbnails that'll make people want to click on your videos. I was just like, okay. Right? Because if I'm successful and I share that success with her, then we're all successful, right? And then she's like, well, I'm going to teach myself how to edit, and I'm going to edit your videos. And I'm like, holy shit, man. And then, Mrs. Evil has been like,
she's the CEO, essentially.
Yeah. When Cap doesn't want to show up to work, you know who shows up to work? Right? She might have more co-host credits on TSP than Cap does. Hey. Oh my God.
Listen.
Game over.
No, I think all jokes aside, with Gina, with Mrs. Evil, like they've been vitally important to the growth of this channel, especially within the last few months, because quite frankly at points, and this is not to throw shade, but quite frankly at points, because I have other projects going on, like I couldn't keep spreading myself so thin to do all the editing.
Yeah.
Just couldn't. And it just became so overbearing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll be honest with you, without, Gina doing her thing and killing it, and like, yeah, like I'll help out and I'll do like my own little commentaries and I'll edit some, and I'll help out a little bit when I can, but without her doing it, bro, like the channel would be like dead as fuck. Let's just call it what it is. And the thumbnails have always been amazing. She does it really quick and she does a great job. And both your partners are there for you throughout this project, and it's just been really beneficial for us as a channel. It's been really great to see, and I definitely have to give thanks to the both of them, because it's not even just on the YouTube side of things. They've just they've been there to help you obviously through everything, and like various things throughout this project, and has helped keep us motivated. Quite frankly, like it's re-energized me into this project. Because it was to a point, just be keeping it real.
Yep.
I was getting tired of sending shit over.
And not having it go up.
and not having it going up, because then I'm like, what the fuck am I wasting my time
Right.
audio editing shit? So I mean, you know, they're vital to this project, because without them, I'll be blunt, it'd be over.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And so, you know, the actual survival of this platform is predicated on a lot of uh, the contributions of these two ladies. And this is a men's platform. I mean, let's be real. This is a men's platform primarily.
Yeah.
And these ladies have so much pride. I get to watch them work sometimes whenever me and you get done recording, and then the two of them are going, you know, they have desks that face each other in our living room. Right. And, you know, one person is helping to do the curating and, you know, doing all of these things. The other, and then they're swapping information, and they're swapping opinions and coming up with ideas. And, you know, sometimes I just don't have the mental wherewithal to try to, you know, come up with every thumbnail and come up with every title. And, you know, the editing stuff, forget it. I got other stuff I got to do to earn my keep here in my own home. Right. And they just make it so ridiculously easy to come back here, get in front of the camera, and put myself out there to the world. And I'm very thankful. Also, Mrs. Evil doesn't just do the managing. You see her every Saturday night when there's a UFC event. She is sitting right here. Right.
I mean, I have to say, you know, we are a man's first platform. Isn't it misogynistic of you to
Yeah,
be making
we're
women
massaging the knees, man.
Yeah. It's a misogynistic evil here, having women do the hard stuff and us just sit here and record. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if this is the easy part, to be honest with you, right? Like
Yeah,
I said,
no,
we put ourselves out there, you know, and you know, we're always, you know, indulging in knee massaging, and you know, they definitely understand exactly the positions that we come from, and we'll go through some of the content in chronological order from the beginning of the year, and you'll see. You know, there were a lot of cold truths and hot takes, and we're going to go through that. I also want to. There's another class of people that I want to give thanks to. I want to talk to the Louis Rossmans of the world.
Oh, yo, Anirudh
And it's
Garg.
weird. It's weird that he would show up right now, because I was about to mention his name. I want to talk to the Louis Rossmans and the JD from NY guys. And then, of course, we have to talk about Lutch from the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast that turned into the Indian Jesus. And we give this guy, we give this guy so much shit. But you'll see, like, when we start going into some of the when we start going into you know, some of the stuff that we're going to review, some of our best content involved Anirudh. And so I'm really thankful that you graced us with your presence today. And I wanted to give like this next class of thank yous to the Lutches, the Anirudhs, the you know, Louis Rossman, JD, because you guys have very few people have had the courage to get up on here with us and talk shit with us. We invite people to come up on the panel, and very few people have stepped up and indulged in these conversations, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, Cap loves to rag on Anirudh, right?
Yeah, listen, bro.
Right?
It's all love.
It's so it is cool. You know, and I hit him up in the DMs on Twitter. I'm like, listen, you know, you gave us an idea for a video that actually, you know, helped the growth a little bit, and we gave him the credit. Like, you got chicks out here targeting dudes so that they could be fucking grubbing ass bums.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay for nothing. I got found the Target at the restaurant. Like, fuck you. That came from Anirudh. So shout out, peace and love to Anirudh, because you were definitely part of what we did here on TSP. You know, again, I think that there's going to be a whole lot more that happens for us, and starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to thank the people that have come up, shown their face, basically argued their points. Even when everyone was agreeing with them, they still argued, not talking about anyone in particular. Lunch.
I should have trademarked his name. Idiot Jesus. I should have trademarked it before I did it.
And again, it's always love. And Rick Allen, I think Rick Allen just showed up, and you're late, but we already covered this. We're not resolution type people, but I felt especially contemplative about what happened this year. So I wanted to just kind of go and review the things that we did this year here on this channel, because this was like really the first year where
full year.
TSP wasn't vaporware. It actually was real. We got shit done. We put up content. Some of the content we were very regimented and consistent with, and we're looking to be better starting today. Really, I mean, actually, it wouldn't really be today. It would be on Tuesday, and we'll get into what we did on Tuesday towards the end, because I want to go in chronological order.
So the one thing I do want to say to Rick Allen is that I don't believe in resolutions. I don't either. The only resolution I have this year is for my hip to fucking work again. That's it.
He's geriatric, y'all.
Yeah, I just want the surgery to be done. But yeah, that's a little different. We'll
get into it, because we're gonna go in chronological order here as best as we can. Our first video. Wait. Let's go back here. Our first live was January 14th, which was TSP number 32. But our first video, one that we published, was about Patton Oswalt pandering. Dave Chappelle backstabbed. That was a video you did, Kat. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Patton Oswalt essentially, if I remember this actually vaguely, but like Patton Oswalt, like friends of Dave Chappelle, and like since Dave Chappelle went out there a little bit, did his thing, a little offensive humor, and then Patton Oswalt's like stabbing him in the back, like he's like, oh fucking hidey ho, like this guy's a monster essentially. It's like
right.
It's like it's kind of goofy. It was a goofy interaction I saw.
He's a goofy goober. Rick Allen says, "You versus Patton Oswalt caves fight. Those are fighting words. Can you take them,
bro? Literally, on a broken hip, I'd fucking break his face. I don't give a fuck. You give me a wheelchair, bro. It's like slam ball. Put a trampoline in that bitch. I'm good.
You remember slam ball,
dude? I watched that shit. Slam ball was the shit.
Man, that was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
It made no sense, but I was entertained.
It made no sense. But crazy.
Rick Allen says, I think Patton could find the submission personally. He could find his arm under your throat. I very much doubt that. He's very feminine, Patton. Anyway, moving right along. You did a. I just want to go for like the most. Oh wait, actually, the first video was about Antonio Brown.
Yeah. That was right.
Blaming CTE.
Yeah, that was when he went kind of off the fucking went off the reservation there for a bit.
Yeah, he's still posting really fucked up things about Tom Brady.
Dude, he's posting conversations that makes like Tom Brady look good. I'm like, what the something wrong with you if you think that makes Tom look bad.
Yeah, I mean he's a douche, right? So, it is what it is. Hold on, I just keep forgetting it. I don't want to go through the I want to go through here. Okay.
I mean,
so
we had a couple viral moments throughout this whole year.
oh yeah, and we'll definitely get into them. I think one of them is one of those. Well, if we go back to 2021, you put up a video that got over 20,000 views talking about Leah Thomas. Obviously, this is not part of this year, but it definitely kind of gave us a lot of inspiration to continue um, on this. Rick Allen asked a pretty good question.
No.
I saw Tate there, so you guys are huge Tate fans.
No.
Are you? I think you should actually watch the live stream that I did
Yeah.
when it was breaking that he had the cuff slapped on him and his brother Tristan. I suggest that you actually watch that. It's less than 40 minutes. I went live on that, and you'll definitely get my opinion on Tate. We'll probably cover that towards the end since there's a little bit of new information. TSP number 33, Drake allegedly gets saucy with his swimmers.
Oh, I remember that one, dude, where he put hot sauce in that shit.
Yeah, man. Like, and the thing is, again, one of my probably not one of my favorite channels in the manosphere, but one that I watch pretty consistently, Manosphere Highlights Daily, MHD. And he has this tagline that says, protect yourself at all times. And this was one of those really great topics. Obviously somebody very rich, very famous, who saw fit to pour hot sauce in the condom after he nutted and then tied up the condom and then threw it away in the garbage. And apparently, he hears some screaming in the bathroom. Why? Because the chick goes into the garbage can, unties the condom.
That's disgusting.
Starts scraping the goop out and shoving it up her cooter.
Ugh. Gross, dude.
And somehow that's considered to be illegal. And for some people, they think that's ethical, right? Now, they thought, he took a lot of heat for the heat he put in her pussy in the forum of,
I hate you.
Some pepper juice, okay? And I thought that was a podcast that I really enjoyed doing. And again, guys, protect yourself at all times.
100%, man.
100%. All right. So, we did a show at the end of January. Can liberals and conservatives be friends?
No.
Well, that's the end of this. Thanks for coming. No. I thought that was a really important I thought that was a really important show because TSP was born out of the fact that how many gold badges? We're not monetized yet.
0.
And we need your help to get there. So
yeah,
nothing restricted. There was one where we actually beat Viacom in
copyright
in a copyright in one of these copyright disputes. We actually beat Viacom. Thank you, Mrs. Evil, for drafting that and getting us off the hook on that. But me and Cap, we like to think that we're reasonable people, but socially and somewhat economically, you guys will see as we matriculate through this. Me and him have different opinions on things, and me and Louis Rossman have very different opinions as well. In fact, me and him got into a knockdown drag out in a text message thread talking about a guy that me and you actually agreed on, in the form of what was that kid's name with the super long last name?
Oh, Bankman
Kyle
Fried?
Rittenhouse,
Oh, Rittenhouse.
right? So me and him got into like this really contentious. But the thing is, we always knew that it was going to be love at the end of that. Like
Yeah.
he thinks I'm being disingenuous about some things. I'm telling him he's being disingenuous about some things, and I just, but there's still love at the end of that, right? Because we're on very opposite sides of that situation. But me and you tend to be on opposite sides of certain situations.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think surrounding yourself with people with different viewpoints is a good thing. Because when you just start surrounding yourself only with, like for me, only conservatives. Yeah, we're more than fine financially good. I don't like
You know
talking
who
about,
Rick Allen reminds me of? Bruce Bobtrotter.
yeah, like a little bit of a troll.
That might be like his burner account.
The funny part is like, right?
Shout out to Bruce.
I don't want to go into the exact amount, but we both make over 6 figures. So I like, of course, right? I laugh at that. I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna be. This isn't an income for us. This is a fun thing that hopefully we can turn into something. But anyways,
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we turned into 7-figure guys.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad either. I mean, subscribe to the
but,
locker room,
right?
But,
Yeah, yeah. Don't subscribe to TSP.
Yeah.
Don't subscribe to TSP. Subscribe to the locker room. He's over 1,000 subs over there.
But
so
no,
go check that out.
But I think what it kind of comes down to is with the philosophy of having friends and stuff like that, like of different political backgrounds, is it allows you to kind of maybe see a different side of an argument. And there's been cases where we've disagreed, you bring new information, and it changes my idea of view on it, and then I think vice versa. Or you'll at least do. Yeah, I'm done. When I get the such a callback. But I think it is good though to have people just different views around you, because when you just surround yourself by the same people, you're just going to be complacent and you're never going to be able to challenge yourself. Just mentally challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen it happen with a lot of friends of mine. And this is no disrespect, but even some YouTubers we know, that they'll just stay in that worldview and they won't go outside of it.
It's just a big ass echo chamber.
Yeah, and I feel like when you do that, and even whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you're afraid to be proven wrong.
Oh yeah. You don't want, and the thing is, and I heard somebody else say this many years ago, and it stuck with me. Do you really have a code or an ideology if it cannot be challenged in any way? This is how I that's how I got away from religion, because so many people, when you start to question them on their positions, they're unable to support them. They'll just say, oh well, my truth, and the truth, just weird shit where people just don't want to stand on their square.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's when people start using that type of verbiage, they know that when it comes to an actual like truth-based statement, instead of they know it's not right, they know it's not truthful, right? When you start using, I would say, different additives to make it seem like, oh well, it's not the truth, it's my truth, like that's just foolishness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think, but as for Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, I feel like if there's common sense on both parties, you can be friends. Right. And sometimes you just got to realize certain conversations you can't have with certain people, right? Regardless of friendship. Like, I think like you kind of, how would I say this? I feel like you kind of know how good you are with somebody depending on the type of conversations you can have with them. Like if you know you have to avoid certain subjects, it's like, I feel like if it's that type of person, I don't want to be vibing with that person on a 24/7 basis.
Right. And you know, it's really interesting because if we skip up a little bit,
Mhm.
you know, uh, and this is probably this is one of those things, you know, when you talked about, I don't want to skip too many things, but I just want to skip ahead a little bit.
We
Um,
we talk about Roe versus Wade.
right when we did that, shit, it's a little bit higher up on
I
another
mean,
page.
we can still have
But that
that
was one of those things where you were getting a little frustrated around that time when you felt like any kind of conservative viewpoint that you put up, you're going to get like a lot of pushback on it, right? And it was so much to the point where you're like, fuck it, I'm just not going to even address these subjects. I'll put it on my own channel.
Yeah. Well, I think when it kind of comes down to it, right, is that certain subjects and certain subjects, it's like we would disagree on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's hard. It's hard on a two-man show, right? Because I like the debate aspect of it, but I do remember I felt like I was getting cut off at times. I get pissed off, like, what the fuck? I just want to say my shit and just go in and go out. And it's kind of just learning to kind of work and be a little bit more communicative with the other party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, it was one of those things where just like, you know, if I talk about this subject, I know that the viewers are going to get on me, and Mrs. Evil is going to be like, yo, you're going to have to kind of take some of the edge off of that because I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah. Well,
right?
like for me, right. As you know, when I used to do YouTube, and by the way, Alan, that is true. You could do Upwork and freelance stuff, and that is a good way to make money.
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, I just been doing voice acting recently, so see how that goes. But anyways, the when it kind of comes down to it, when I started on YouTube, I was a no holds bar motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
No holds bar. Like, you remember my initial
Papa
channel?
Thunder.
Papa, zero fucks to give. Like, absolutely.
You're going to
zero.
see a lot more of Papa Thunder once we start really getting the Low T show going. We were supposed to be doing episode 3 like 3 months ago. What the fuck happened to that?
Well, we gotta get that shit up on the Patreon first, but that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But anyways, like with the YouTube Captain Paul, even with the commentaries, I would be over the top. Papa Thunder would be over the top, and like all these channels will be wildly successful. When you're young, you don't necessarily understand the ramification. Like, you can view something as hilarious, right? Like, I thought anybody with a full functioning frontal lobe would understand the Papa Thunder is a character, because I actually had people after the fact like, wait, you're not really like that? I said, no, like, I'm in a basement screaming into a camera. Like, how the fuck is that gonna make? How is that representative of any sane individual? But like, I'm literally taking the piss out of people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it was one of the funniest parts about that whole thing is kind of coming into this project, like, and this is actually something I kind of want to circle back into being thankful for. I do want to thank you for getting me back into YouTube.
Yeah.
Because after Captain Paul, I was very like Captain Paul, after the Papa Thunder, like after I got my 3 Papa Thunder channels taken down, Captain Paul, I just fell out of love with like the gaming stuff, because it was just like the same old BS every year.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got bland for me. And the TSP helped kind of re-energize my feelings towards content creation. And it made me get back into that zone, because even initially, like, I wasn't as sure of myself. You know, I'd be like, second guessing, like, like, just wasn't comfortable on the mic because it's been such a long time since I did content. And even when
you were really, really,
like even
especially in 2021, I could definitely see that you were hesitating. Now you just flow.
Yeah, and that's like a development. And why are the channels taken down? My humor is not fucking G rated. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, one of the things is that,
especially with the weak ass people we have in our society today, you can't just press dislike and then scroll to another video you actually like. You have to go and report them, and I don't like their opinion, and their opinion shouldn't be heard because I don't like it.
Yeah, that's
the world we live in today.
People take things out of like context. Like, okay, I'll just say this: one video I got taken down for terroristic threats, where I'm like talking about a virtual character screaming into a microphone with a voice changer, a mask, like just over the top silliness, right?
Like
And
some
like
Ken Kniff shit.
yeah, like people took that shit seriously. I was like, oh, like whatever. So like I kept getting these channels taken down for hate speech or some shit, and it's like I'm not even saying anything like anyone if they listen to it and they took that serious, I don't know what's wrong with you. So it's obviously just a bunch of trolls trying to take different channels. But going back to the content creation side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is when it kind of comes down to it, it was kind of me getting back into the flow, and that allowed me more practice so I could do other projects. That allowed me to do the 8-bit entertainment stuff, which that's no longer a thing. But and not because of my doing, I'll just say that. But then it allowed me to go into different projects like the Locker Room, and the Locker Room has been like I gained over 1,000 subscribers in 2 months. I'm gonna probably get by the end of January around 1,500, hopefully around that era, and it's kind of made me love making videos again because it's like the biggest problem I had for the longest time when it came to content is I would make something and then I'd I'd overanalyze it to the point where it's like I would never release it. Like
Right. And then it also takes a lot of your confidence away, and then you don't want to make the next video.
and then it makes you disenchanted with the whole
It
process.
took me over 9 hours to produce my very first video on my first channel, like it was like 2011 or 2012.
Mm.
And man, like it was the agony that I put into that video, and I was proud of the video after it came out, but it just took so much time that I just didn't even want to teach myself how to edit videos anymore.
Yeah.
In February, well, at the end of January, we also did this video. Is it ethical to mock the adverse outcomes of anti-vaxxers? Because we were in a situation where there were a lot of people that were like, you shouldn't get vaccinated, and then they would immediately either have like severe disease or they would pass away from the Rona. And we're talking about the loudest voices in the room talking about how you shouldn't get vaccinated, and then they would die of the disease. That happened a lot of times. And it's weird. Like we actually planned to do a video a couple months ago, and it just didn't make the cut, where there was some stats that showed that the percentage of victims that were Republicans that died from the Rona to Democrats, like the wide disparity. And then you look at some of the states that were really close, especially in the South, like Georgia and Arizona. When it came time to vote for Donald Trump, so many Republicans were dead because they didn't want to get vaccinated, because it became a political issue, that now you can't cast your vote for the president that you want because you're dead. So some people thought that, some people, especially these so-called tolerant liberals, thought it was okay to make fun of people because bad things happened to them because they didn't believe in the vaccines. That was a crazy video. You put some sports videos up here. Tom Brady retires.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he wished that he stuck to that.
No, I don't know, man. There was definitely some other shit going wrong in that marriage, if that's what caused it. That's all I'll say there. Like, it's funny. These videos here, though, made me start turning gears in my head about doing a sports channel.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of throwback to that.
We talked about Brad Marchand earlier today, did we not?
Yeah, we did talk about him enough, and comparisons.
And then Tom Wilson, which is why the Rangers signed. The Rangers signed Ryan Reeves, because after he had a dirty hit on a Rangers player in the last game of the previous season, the Rangers went out and signed Ryan Reeves, and we didn't get so much. We didn't get so much dirty play from Tom Wilson anymore, at least against the Rangers.
So this is what I'll say, kind of going into this conversation, right? Like, just kind of closing out my viewpoint on it.
Yeah.
I think the problem we're running into now in the social media age is we no longer look at those people on the other side of the aisle as human beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
we like it's kind of like in war, right? Like with propaganda, like World War II, right? The famous like propaganda against the Japanese, the Germans, and stuff like that. Like you
Mm-hmm.
dehumanize them, you make them look like villains, and that's just the same thing that's happening more of in a political climate. Like when certain Republicans die, people cheer. When some Democrats die, people cheer. Instead of just
Mm-hmm.
like taking a step back, realizing they're fucking human beings with families and loved ones, it's just it's weird. I don't know if it's a social disconnect because we are no longer in person anymore. Like there's not as many like in person hangouts. People don't get together like that anymore. Maybe it's just kind of desensitized us in that way. But yeah, I think anyone that's happy about another person dying, unless they're like a evil piece of shit, like you got to reevaluate your life priorities, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
for real. Anybody notice anything out of the ordinary with any video?
Uh,
I got to tell you guys, because Paul did this video solo.
yeah.
This video is still usually somewhere around among our top 10 in views every month. It is weird.
Yeah,
12,000 views.
Well,
You
that
put the
thumbnail.
word naked in all caps, people want to know.
Yeah, bro, and the thumbnail too. Like, let's keep it real. Like, I knew what I was doing, so even though it wasn't even on purpose, I just subconsciously, I guess, I didn't even think of it right when I uploaded that video.
Mhm.
It's just hilarious.
Jimmy G's like, yo, thumbnails work.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
do, bro. They do.
Notice how there's no Lizzo-sized women in the thumbnail because nobody would want to see that.
No.
Okay.
No,
You did a video on Tuukka Rask. This is pretty fun. New car revealed and first impressions. I think that was.
you got a copyright claim on your own video. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's because our old buddy Clinks used some copyrighted
Shout
music.
out to you, bro. Get my
In the
commentaries
background.
done. God damn it.
It was it was really funny. We were just talking about the jab, right? The day before this, I had I had gotten the third jab, and I felt like I had the flu. On the day that I did this video, I went and got this was the first time I've had more than one car at a time. I gotta tell you, my experience with this car, a lot of fun, man. Driving long distances, driving even in super hot weather and heavy traffic with the top down.
Yeah, dude. He like goes by like the projects and just like puts the window down and just screams "fuck the poor" and just blasts music.
Yeah, make sure that the black rims are rotating really, really slow. Drive real slow through the hood. No, I don't do that. Not doing all of that. Shout out to Jay Leno though. He almost lost his life a couple of months ago in a fire accident. in his garage. Yeah. So but anyway, I've had a lot of fun with the car.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It's interesting though, and this is actually something I think we'll probably start kind of going a little bit more into is it seemed like we got a good, I didn't even realize that one reaction video I did to that other YouTuber did pretty decent, 700 views.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like we've seen a lot of growth and we have a lot more to do, obviously. But I mean, there's a lot of good moments that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I want to talk about TSP 38. Probably one of our best live shows I think we've done. Happened April 13th.
Really?
2022. Should men be canceled for their preferences? That is when we had the great Anna Rude Garg on to talk about his preferences. And we had Louis Rossman, to talk about these things. And we had Lutch. on this show,
Mm.
right? And it all got started when I got a strike from a dating app because what did I say? I said that I was only interested in biological females.
Yeah.
And they said
That's
that,
hate
their
speech.
app is inclusive, and they didn't want me to say anything exclusive, as if dating by its own nature isn't an exclusive activity in and of itself. When you date, you're not looking to accept everybody, right? You're looking for the people that appeal to you and only you. But of course, with this overly liberal and inclusive, well, they're not, very inclusive when it comes to people who like diamonds and not cubic zirconia. So because the thing is, think about it like this, right, Cap? The same women that are like, you should be, if they would have told me this in the email, I'd have been like, all right, cool. But that's not what they said in the email. But I'm glad you think I'm ugly, because I don't have to worry about you making any passes at me. Thank goodness. Okay. And so, we had a really lively discussion about, the fact that, most men, if they have options, want to date women with certain attributes, and they also don't want those women to have certain other attributes. And that it is not going to change because you try to shame them. I think Louis Rossman gave us some of his experiences, and Lutch gave us some of his experiences, and then Anirudh gave us some of his experiences.
A legendary Anirudh experience.
Yeah,
and we're not going to spoil it here. If you want to see a legendary experience, you go check out that podcast.
Yeah. Go back to TSP 38, and hear it from the dialectic himself. And so that was probably one of my favorite ones that we've done. We had some MMA watch parties, man. Again,
I don't show
Dan Jensen, Jimmy Dean used to show up every Saturday. Lutch, we had Anirudh showed up for a few shows on the panel. We've had just a bunch of different people that have come in. June 42 would come in at the end of the show, or at the very beginning, and ask for a pick, and then at the very end to give his opinions. And then, there are certain people that I remember when they come in. You guys really do make a lot of the live streams a lot of fun to do. Because let me tell you guys, when I first thought of this idea to do watch parties, I was really excited, because I'm like, I'm watching all of the UFC events anyway. And then the reality hit that I can't do other things with my Saturdays, because I'm at the whim of Dana White and his scheduling. Right. And then it's like every Saturday, instead of going out driving, or, going, upstate to go visit friends and family, or to just go somewhere else, I know that I'm going to be sitting here in this office doing a live show. There was a wedding I went to, or a wedding event that I went to at the end of October. And it just so happens that the wedding was happening at the same time as the pay-per-view. What did Dr. Evil do? Well, guess what? I was absent at the wedding. I was in the hotel room hosting the show. So, but it's been a lot of fun. TSP 39, Mike Tyson had to duff somebody out in an airplane. Yeah. I don't want to be stuck in an airplane with Mike Tyson. I don't want to be throwing water bottles at him either.
That was that was a miscalculation on that guy's part.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was
we had a lot of good. We had some good moments throughout the year.
Yeah, here in May, because this was a live show that I did after this tragedy ended. This was a live show that I did in the car in May, and it kind of stemmed from a video that we did because probably the saddest thing that happened as far as our the things that we had to cover in cover on the channel
May.
was what happened in May. And to this day, it really does hurt my heart.
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, the passing of Kevin Samuels. And I feel emotional even thinking about it right now. I still feel a great deal of pain. Like when I think of when anybody references him in the manosphere, I still cannot believe the man is gone. And he's done a lot from very far away as a mentor to kind of, get me on the grind that I always should have been on. He's only known for holding women accountable in a way where society refuses to hold women accountable for anything. And he's known for that. But for the first 3 years that he was on YouTube, he was holding men accountable exclusively and basically saying in a different way the same thing that Mr. Jordan Peterson would say. Men, understand that life is difficult for you, but clean your own fucking room first. And he spent 3 years just roasting dudes for not being the men that they should have been. But the minute that he tells a woman that you're age 35, you look like a Muppet, you've got 2 of some other men's children, no, you cannot get a high value man, that's done and over with. Oh my God, he hates women! Ah! And, he spent, 2 years talking to women, and there's so many women that appreciated Kevin for the advice that he gave them and for helping them see that you cannot shame men into you probably should not debate him because he has more than twice your life experience, and his Rolodex of men of value is a lot more extensive than yours. And so I don't think that would be a great debate because you would actually have to have points that would rival his points, and then they would actually need to stick. And I can guarantee you they wouldn't stick because people with more life experience than you, people as intelligent as you, because Anirudh is one of the more intelligent people that I know on this planet, but people on your intelligence level and with twice your experience lost in debates to him consistently because the dude is not debating whether or not things should be a certain way. His whole point is things are this way. So since things are this way, if you want the outcomes that you want, you have to kind of live in accordance with actual observable reality.
Yeah, I think when it came down to when Kevin Samuels passed, now I've never been like a massive Kevin Samuels fan, but I could always appreciate the work he did. I would say, I think when it came to him getting kind of, how being made an example of by certain women, like, oh, look what he said about this woman, instead of looking into his past, like, he would literally get into guys like, well, like, yo, you don't make money, you don't have shit going on, so
You're fat.
Like, what do you expect? And it's like, oh, I mean, it's like, are you a high earner? No. Are you attractive? No. It's like,
are you short?
No. Like, and he was savage, but I feel like it was refreshing because it helped certain people out. Some guys just need that brutal honesty they don't get in real life.
I needed his brutal honesty because, when I first came on to Kevin Samuels, I was doing just enough to pay my bills. I was not really trying to reach to do anything that I was passionate about or with any kind of urgency. And that was one of the things that helped me kind of get on my grind to get TSP off the ground. targeting more clients for what I do professionally, taking care of helping the ladies out with the things that they need help with in life. I learned so much from Kevin, and his death that was probably the worst moment of the year for me. Now I think about a lot of things that happened this year. It was a pretty good year for me, and most of my years have been pretty bad. But the death of Kevin Samuels really fucked me up, man. And even to this day, it's still a very, very painful thing for me because I think that he had a lot more to offer, especially us men. Forget holding women accountable. We'll hold women accountable with the decisions that we make, with the attention that we choose to give to women. Because I had a situation this year where I had to cut a woman off this year that I still love to this day because she didn't measure up. She was not worthy of my attention. And, there's no shade on her. Like I said, I still love her to this day. But then she proved very recently that I'm glad that I cut her off because, she showed more of her true colors very recently, in fact. I just, he gave me so many tools to be a better human being and to also only give attention to the women that deserve attention. And so that was easily the most painful moment that I felt this year. Was the death of Kevin Samuels. We also, we had a lot going on at the end. I think it was also in the month of May, if I'm not mistaken. There was, we also covered the Buffalo shooting. That was a very painful situation there. But I believe later on in May, we started talking about the possibility of the repeal of Roe v. Wade. What was that? Where was that? Yeah, right here, June 25. Because there were. I
remember this. I was on the boat for that one.
Yeah, there was. We covered that there was rumors because a draft got leaked. We covered that in April. And then, they didn't amend the draft very much. They ended up repealing Roe v. Wade. And what does it mean? Because there's a lot of bad info out there, especially among liberals, on what the overturning of Roe v. Wade actually was. Now, you can definitely make the case that it was ideologically driven. But as far as the way that law was ruled on and the language of the ruling, there was not a real legal argument for Roe v. Wade in the first place.
Yeah.
So because, and I'm going to borrow a term from Anirudh here, some bad math judiciously, there was really no option but to overturn it. So people wanted to turn it into this big ideological thing that it actually wasn't. But then the states went and turned it ideological, and you had you expressed yourself in a way where you're just like, yo, I have to speak on behalf of people that disagree with the popular opinion.
Yeah, I mean, still have those same belief systems. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, when two consenting adults have sex and you have a kid, you understand that's a possibility. I don't believe in abortion. I don't feel like a lot of people
unless you have certain sexual proclivities where you would choose somebody that looks like somebody but doesn't have the actual plumbing
Jesus Christ,
right?
I'm not making this.
I mean, there's still two consenting adults, but the chances that procreation is going to happen.
I'm saying with consenting adults with the proper original equipment. So
the
like
OEM, the original
yeah,
electronic manufacturer's equipment,
exactly. But
OEM parts.
I mean, like it's a difficult conversation to have because like it's one that's actually an interesting one because I have a sister of mine extreme lefty, and she's like me having that opinion is misogynistic, and I'm like, how is that hate on women when all I'm saying is you should be responsible for your actions. If it's done consenting, let's just be adults who understand the ramifications of having sexual intercourse. That's it.
Yep.
Not that
And
difficult.
I always thought the whole thing on prenatal termination, I thought everybody was having the wrong conversation to begin with. Everybody want to talk about should you be able to, should you not be able to? And I'm like, well, I want to talk about personal accountability.
Well, I'm also say this: abortion at its nature, at this core, is racist in a way because what people does it target?
Half of all pregnancies in the Black community end in prenatal termination.
So I want to know why liberals love to support abortion when they're killing Black babies.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're the only minority group that has not grown in population since Roe v. Wade was put into practice. We're the only racial group that has not grown because half of our pregnancies end in termination.
Yep.
But yeah, I totally agree with Anirudh here. If the people will prenatal termination to be a thing, you should vote for the Congress people that support that. Vote for it when it comes up, because a lot of Republican states, after Roe v. Wade was taken down, a lot of Republican states then put prenatal termination and protected it in their laws. And we're talking about red states here too. And another thing, what I thought was very interesting about this particular subject, when I was doing the research for it, I actually found that there were multiple groups of both conservative pro-choice and liberal pro-life. Shocked the shit out of me. I couldn't believe it. Right? So a lot of this stuff, people want to, think, a lot of people want to...
Red, blue.
Right. Everything's this zero-sum game. And we find that it's never is zero-sum. It just never is. And so I kind of want to cover, real quick. I tried my hand at covering some of the Rangers games during the playoffs. I had a lot of fun, even though I did not have fun watching the team. They were very sloppy. Even when they won games, they were so fucking sloppy. It just infuriated me. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun covering, the Rangers' attempt through the NHL playoffs. I had a lot of fun with that.
I mean, I think it kind of helped. Like I said, that kind of fostered a lot of the stuff with the locker room. Sorry, my hips starting to act up.
Yeah, we did so much. We did so much.
Dude, we did so much throughout the year.
A lot of we did so much on the filthy casual MMA. Just so, and of course, this really fire thumbnail made by Gina. This thumbnail here, fucking fire. Also, again, JD from NY, who has really supported our platform so much. So shout out to the LTS crew. I took JD to a baseball game. And we did a special, which was kind of like a cross promotion with my regular channel in here, and that was really fun. Also, hold on. This was the first time we covered Long Beach Griffey. You got 3,000 views on this. It was a short.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even know who the fuck he was. And you called him a legend. And I at that point, I still didn't really know. We talked about some Ukraine stuff, the Buffalo supermarket shooting, Rajon Rondo abusing his kids and the woman. I don't. Do you know what happened after that?
No,
I think he pled out, didn't he?
yeah, I think so. I don't want to say for sure. I'd have to look into
Yeah.
that. The Johnny
Yep.
the Johnny the Walrus one, you were just like why the fuck am I watching this?
Yo, that shit was, but it was funny though.
Yeah. Well,
I think that this video definitely deserved more views. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna front. This video right here, that shit was hilarious.
It was so savage.
We talked a lot about the Second Amendment because you know that there were some certain laws were taken down, especially here in the state of New York, that basically try to limit our Second Amendment rights. So just to kind of reiterate, and you can kind of give your opinion on the Second Amendment. I believe that all guns should be destroyed, every single gun, and the knowledge of guns completely destroyed. But that is not practical. That is never going to happen. So since the cat is out of the bag, we should all be allowed to have our opportunity to protect ourselves, because the police never show up when you need them. If somebody's pointing a gun in your face, I can't call the police and have them save me, because before I can even get the second one dialed in 911, I've got a bullet in my brain. I would rather have an opportunity to give myself half a chance to get out of that situation and then let a criminal merge with the universe that day instead of it going in the opposite direction. So I prefer to have my 2DA rights respected and uninfringed upon.
I am a big Second Amendment supporter. And if I want to have an RPG, I want to have an RPG. I really don't believe in many
Noob
fucking
tubing ass bitch.
Regulations, right? If I want a spawn camp on the top of my house, that is my choice. But no, I think the when it kind of comes down to it, yeah, I'm a big Second Amendment supporter, and I think some of the regulations we have right now is ridiculous because regardless of whatever limitations you put on something, doesn't mean the bad guys are going to follow those limitations.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
yep.
When they banned bump stocks, all I need to take is a tourniquet, wrap it around, and then it becomes a fucking bump stock. But that's a whole different argument. Right. But yeah, we covered a lot of stuff.
A lot of liberals don't even know what a bump stock is or what it does.
A lot of liberals don't even understand that they think an AR-15 is some scary military rifle when it comes to 22, 5.56. It's liberals when they have. Well, it's so cute when they try to have conversations with guns when they've never actually fired one. One guy.
Can we be honest though?
What?
The AR-15 is a civilian modified military rifle that is developed off of the M4, which is interesting because I just found out that the military actually is upgrading their service rifle. They're going to the M5 now, which is a different and a larger caliber, which is like a 6.8 millimeter.
Really?
Yeah. And the M249 saw is being upgraded to the M250, but only certain units are getting it. It's really, really interesting.
I mean, I think you're still gonna have the M16, M4 variants throughout.
No. Most.
It's a 6.8 by 51 millimeter.
Right. Okay. Most soldiers will still be using the M4 and the M249, but some infantry are being upgraded to the successor to the M4 and it's a 6 hour. 6 hour makes it.
No, SIG, yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, they got a huge government contract to develop that gun. You talked about Officer Tatum. I think we were talking about how the pandering on the right towards righties and the pandering on the left towards lefties is so incredibly gross.
Oh, dude, it just makes me want to fucking chomp on a cyanide pill.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, right? Me and Mrs. Evil had a discussion about this pineapple show, which is super toxic. That show is ultra toxic, but this one woman was berated for rejecting a nuclear physicist because he was not swaggy enough. And then the weird shit that came out of it. And we got another comment on this video in the month of December with a woman who actually knows about, the professions that he claimed that he was part of. And then she actually broke down all of the things that you have to actually do. It's like, no, he was no pharmacist 17, lying ass bitch. And of course, he, eventually had to reveal. But yeah, none of what he said made any sense to me. It seemed like it was all contrived. But that was a very, very funny thing that we did. But it was a really good conversation between me and Mrs. Evil to talk about A, what women find attractive, and B, why women are miserable in our everyday, society because of the choices that they make, particularly in men. Dan Jensen says, I'm jealous. I live in Denmark. We are not allowed guns here. Only criminals and the police have guns here. You don't want that, trust me, so do all you can to protect your rights. I live in the great city of New York, and this has been my experience, Dan. And I don't like being in a situation where a criminal knows that he's got the one up on me because he knows I'm not packing because I'm not breaking the law.
Yep.
So this law actually protects the criminals. Yeah. So our military Pride Month ads pathetic. Yeah, that's insane.
Well, bro, like my thing is the ridiculous pandering. I'm like, those on the average, that's not what's, you know what I mean? That's not gonna be your military force.
Yeah. I covered why men don't approach women anymore, and even less men are approaching women. Even on social media, they're not doing it in the streets. And now you're starting to see more and more women complaining. This has not changed. Do women's feelings matter more than men's in relationships? I definitely recommend that you guys go watch that video if you have not, because I'm just kind of getting tired of, only women's opinions matter, only their feelings matter. But you always want men to do something for you. You have all of these expectations and demands of men. But then when it comes to what a man needs, no one gives a fuck. And I don't want to, tell Cap's business, but he had a little bit of a brush with that a couple of months ago where he's just like, yo, I get what you're saying, but do I matter?
Yep.
Buzz Lightyear as a kid, Chendo. This is a very interesting video that he did because statistics shows that per capita, because there aren't that many black police officers, on average use more excessive force and deadly force than the average white cop does. Transgender women barred from certain sports. Now, remember, way back when, you did a video that got us, 22,000 views, right? When we only had like 170 subscribers, okay? This was really important. Of course, the New York gun control law. You covered that in June. Scrolling up some more.
Brittany Griner to the gulag.
Oh yeah, and it took 10 months for her to finally defeat her opponent to get out of there.
Yeah, bro. She kept finding a bad teammate in the gulag, couldn't get out of there. I did the Papa Thunder version of it, and that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, I want to say that there were a couple of thumbnails that Clinks made that I actually liked, and this one that he made calling Cap on pineapple nuclear physicist.
That was good.
I really like this thumbnail so much.
Yo, what's going on, Carbon?
Yo, what up, Carbon and Vex? Thank you for coming through today. But this was a really good Papa Thunder speaks. So much content that we did, but this is what it is when you're a small content creator. You're gonna put up a lot of great content and have nobody watch.
Yeah.
You can only hope that people will go back and watch some of this stuff. Elijah Dickens proved liberals wrong.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
That was the case in which someone that was like about to go on a massive shooting someone that was concealed carrying, or was he open carrying? No, I think it was concealed carrying. He ended up eliminating that target and avoiding, essentially, kind of preventing, I should say, a mass shooting at a mall. So that guy was a hero. He ended ended a whole threat. It was amazing.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think he had an 80% accuracy at more than 100 feet with a pistol.
Yeah, dude, that dude, like, phenomenal grouping. Like,
Everything that liberals talk about, why they like to make fun of good guy with a gun. That guy completely murders their arguments. Completely.
Yeah.
So shout out. Also, can we give some love to Riley Gaines? There's another video that you did where Riley Gaines actually stepped up for the ladies in sports. I just think that we keep hearing from the women that want to keep putting this narrative out there, but we finally got one woman that stood up with conviction and spoke her mind, right? Russia nukes the NHL. This is when we thought that a lot of the NHL players would not make it back because Russia was going to trap some of the players in Russia.
Which they actually did do. Some prospects they did do. Some aren't allowed over.
And I think that, they want to send them to the front line and all of that. Like, come on, man. My family hates my politics. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean, that was just because we had a video where me and some family members had differencing of opinions and stuff like that. It's a good video. I think, we're a small channel, so I feel like we did a lot of good videos, and this would be a good one. I think that still relates to right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of good videos. Talk about Dave Chappelle being banned from a venue because, he's considered to be a hater of manual transmissions when it's actually not true. He makes comparisons to their struggles and our struggles and how, Black people have been treated as 14th class citizens for well over 400 years. And we just decided, that we're going to create this new protected class. And it's like, well, we've been struggling just to be looked at as human. And we were born with our dark skin. Like, there's nothing we can do about this. There's not a decision that we made. And so, he just points out a lot of things that are going on in society, and they paint him as somebody that is some sort of hater. This bodega worker in his 60s was originally arrested for defending his own life because some dude wanted to be a fucking simp and panders to some bitch.
No, like, let's be honest.
That stole a bag of chips.
Let's call it how it is. The bodega worker put on Commando Pro, had extreme amount of lunch with that knife, and ended that motherfucker's life. That was, you know what? I felt no sorrow for that dude. Like, you get in someone's personal space and threaten their life, and you get stabbed like that. I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah. I was definitely on the side of the dude with the blade. But there was a small sliver of sympathy that I had for the man that got stabbed, because the chick that sent him out there after she was in the wrong, she found another dick to suck after that.
I mean, I'm sorry, you're a grown man. You make that decision. Like, I think the bodega worker was watching Knives Only gameplay.
Dude, let's be real. Let's be real. From the beginning of time, women have had this power over men. So we cannot ignore that and then say, well, that guy shouldn't have simped. Like, I'm going to tell you, he should not have simped. Like, I'm with you. But let's not pretend women haven't had this kind of power, sending men to go die as crash test dummies from the beginning of mankind.
Right, but who's the dumb motherfucker that actually goes and does that shit? That's the motherfucker I look at. I'm not saying she isn't at fault for maybe pressuring it, but let's just call it how it is. That motherfucker decided to, like, you know what today I'm going to do? I'm going to go get my ass beaten, killed by a 60-year-old. That man had some hands. And that probably wasn't the first time he shanked a motherfucker, so.
You knew where to put that shit because I think it only stabbed the guy once.
Dude, it was like legitimately, like I said, I was watching Knives only Call of Duty content.
These knives only. Only use me blade.
Yeah. Well, except I'm gonna ignore that blade reference. He's a scum. Another video. Let's see.
Oh yeah, this is when I decided to do
On the road
the show instead of going to the wedding.
And then
that was in October.
And then we had the big old moment with JD there. The interview with JD got a lot of people on over.
Yeah, let's let's where was that? Oh yeah, we had some really hard hitting
right there, number 3. And we had a good conversation with JD, man. Like JD, we both known through our Call of Duty content creation days.
Yeah. Well, before we get into this, because I want to make sure that we kind of go in order here. We had people whining and complaining that straight people didn't go see two guys playing grab ass.
Yeah, two straight. Yeah, people go figure. People didn't want to watch two dudes slipping on cock. Like what? Like what the fuck? What do you expect? That's not like that's not a mass population thing. Where it's like, yeah, that's what I want to watch. A fucking couple hours of grab ass. Like, what did you expect?
Yeah, we talked about the deplatforming of. Oh wait, I want to. There was one video that we did that I thought was really important because, I got really, really annoyed at something that happened. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I feel like he's one of the godfathers of the kind of content that I want to put out on this channel. I don't always agree with O'Shea, but I definitely have to give this man his flowers and, reacted to a video. This was a solo effort by me. I think this is the video, the full length video that got the most views from my own effort. You had people who were caping for Stacey Abrams in her race against Brian Kemp for governor of Georgia, a race she's already lost in the past. And their thought was, well, black men need to get in line and you need to go and do what we say to do. You need to follow us. The only racial subgroup where the men are supposed to kowtow and play second fiddle to the women. And of course, we're at the bottom, right? No other racial group has the women leading the men, right? Now you're starting to see black men saying, you know what? The Democrats aren't doing a fucking thing for us. We're gonna not give our support to this woman who, mid-40s, overweight, no husband, no kids. So we already know what kind of respect that you have for a man because of the way that you present yourself to the world. Right? You have no interest in working with a man, being cooperative with a man, but you want him to vote for you. And then it turns out that they got more than 80% of the black male vote and still lost handily because white women voted for Brian Kemp. So I got really tired of that. I'm normally pretty non-political. I don't really like politics personally. But that was when I was like, listen, I want to move to Georgia and register as a Republican and vote for Brian Kemp. And I don't even like the motherfucker just because I don't like this nasty, dirty shit. Absolutely. I don't like it.
That was definitely a pivotal video.
Yeah.
In the channel's growth and how content's made.
Yeshiva University was like, nah, son. The Torah does not say men who lie with men are going to, inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. They don't believe that, but they have groups that want to force themselves. And I think a court decision very recently said that they cannot discriminate. So you might see Yeshiva University just get rid of student groups altogether.
Yep.
Ime Udoka, obviously he was the only one that was destroyed in that whole thing just because he was getting in where he fit in, right? He was having consensual sex with a married woman. He wasn't even married himself, but he was called out for cheating. They didn't even want, nobody even wants the woman's name to be known. Cap.
Yep. No, because it was somebody in the higher executive. That's why.
No, it's because it was a woman.
No, I agree, but that also plays a fact that it's gonna just be a lot of dirt exposed, and if it was a man, it would have been exposed. But hey.
Well, we saw that in this case. Udoka lost his job. He is a pariah in the NBA now, all because he took the pussy that was given to him.
Can I be real though? Like, I feel like that's such a joke in a way, because we all know these coaches, these players, not all of them, but some of them doing some shady shit on the side. Like, they're piping down women on every different state. Like, come on. Like,
yes,
let's not be hypocrites here. Like,
but is that a reason to take somebody's job away?
No. If it's a consensual relationship, no.
Right. Like, remember, she didn't claim that she was violated. She gave it up willingly. Yeah. He lost his job. She's still good.
Yeah. It was definitely a flagrant foul.
Yeah.
He got fired. It was crazy.
You did this video about short kings getting surgery to be taller.
Yep. Lutch, watch that video.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, I mean, that shit's stupid. Like, why destroy yourself and give yourself arthritis the rest of your life? That's so dumb.
Yeah. TSP host pretending to talk black. Were they referring to me or
no? They're referring to me, because there's a video in the O'Shea, like I forget which video it was. The way I speak, they were like, "Oh, fucking look at this white boy trying to act black." I'm like, what? Like, I speak how I speak. I don't really perceive that as being black.
I mean, I can vouch for Cap's racism. Okay.
Fuck off.
He's like, listen, I don't pay attention to the NBA. I'm a hockey guy. I can't even talk about what goes on in basketball. Am I lying? Am I lying though?
No, listen. Like,
tell me when I'm telling lies.
But
all right?
Listen,
he's definitely not trying to, act black. I can.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. And also, though, there is black people in hockey now, so the improvement involving.
Also, the puck is black.
But technically, white people hit it, right? So that's fucked up. I mean,
yeah. Jordan B. Peterson. This was a video I wish more people would have
watched. That was a good video.
Yeah. Because again, this is a men's platform for the most part. We welcome ladies, but this is more geared toward the men. Women and soy latte, white knight pansies really showed their ass on this. Here, we hear a lot about men's mental health only after they shoot up a supermarket, right? But when this man is saying, hey, there's a lot of disaffected young men out there, and he shows some human emotion, what do? They call him a pansy. They incel this, incel that. People keep forgetting that incel does not refer to men. Incel means involuntarily celibate, and it was a term coined by women in Canada to describe not other men, to describe themselves, because the default position for men is involuntarily celibate, because men don't make the decisions on who gets to have sex. But there are a group of women out there, because people assume that anybody will fuck any woman. But there's a group of women out there that are like, yo, nobody wants to touch me. I'm involuntarily celibate. Right? So now we've turned this as a pejorative against men. But then we want to keep on shitting on men. And then when they do something drastic, oh my God, he's the devil. I think it's disingenuous. And I think that a lot of people showed their true colors when it came to this particular subject. And shout out to Jordan B. Peterson. Don't always agree with the things he has to say. But thank you for standing up for guys. You did this video on the deplatforming of Andrew Tate,
Mm-hmm.
which is even more relevant now more than ever. But
funny enough. But I mean, I not everything that comes out of Andrew Tate's mouth do I find intelligent, right?
no,
The problem with him, like, is that he'll have those nuggets of wisdom, and then the next bar will be something of absolute stupidity. So, I take him with a grain of salt. You know, he's a accomplished fighter, and that's all well and good.
right?
Doesn't mean he's a philosopher by any stretch of the fucking imagination.
Nope.
I
Nope.
do have a problem though when you have people deplatformed and taken down just because they have an unpopular opinion.
Yep.
He wasn't inciting violence. He just has a certain viewpoint on the world, and because of that, he got kicked off all these social media platforms.
Yep.
Tate, you just did the video. Great job on that solo effort when I was asleep.
Yeah.
Tate is in some hot water right now, which he's obviously not detained anymore. It's only 24 hours.
Right.
That's over with. He's back and free. And the Romanian government will see where that goes. And
Yep.
I am one of these people. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
Let the facts play out, and we'll see. Because if Tate did those horrible things, lock him up and put a bullet in the back of his head, in my opinion. But if he didn't, and this is all just a fucking hit job, I mean, why would I get overly emotional with? Just because I view somebody as not necessarily the greatest philosopher on the planet Earth doesn't mean he doesn't have some valid points when it talks about certain issues, about some of them pertaining to men.
Right.
And the reason why it's troublesome to have someone like Tate be viewed as a leader in the manosphere is because once he gets taken down, all women are like, see, people like that. It's a bad example, and that's why I don't think, first off, I don't really, in some sense, we're in this thing, but I don't really view us as a manosphere channel. We just bring logic and common sense, like, in my opinion.
Well, that's what makes us manosphere. I'm going to echo a lot of things you just said. I'm going to embellish on it a little bit, or expound on it. I don't necessarily believe he's a bad person, but he damn sure is not a good person.
True.
And I think that when it comes to men's content, he does us a grave disservice as men and as content creators.
Top G.
Because he mixes in true statements with nefarious intentions. And when you have a nasty disposition where you're seeking to put negative energy out into the world while talking about men's issues, while people are already looking to invalidate men in their issues, you are a net negative on the space. The frauds in Florida were the first to really make this point crystal clear. When you do not live the lifestyle that you are trying to tell other people to live, and you want to put your finger in women's faces while on the back end trying to sleep with them, you want to talk about no simping, but then they're exposing you for simping?
Yeah.
That's a problem. When you're talking about the role that men are supposed to play in women's lives, but then you're going at Greta Thunberg on Twitter for what? I thought you were a top G. I thought you were a man's man.
Oh, no.
What the fuck are you? What are you? Why are you talking to her about anything? Because you're supposed to be a man's man. You're supposed to be out there building something. And the only thing that we've seen you do post-fighting career is run your motherfucking mouth. That's all we've seen you do. You haven't built a motherfucking thing.
Well, wait, that's incorrect. He built the scam called Hustlers University. You actually know why he grew on the platform so big, right? Because Hustlers University, right? Because he was this accomplished fighter, right? He had people sign up for Hustlers University, and a part of that project to I guess, graduate is you had to post social media posts about Tate. That's why Tate blew up. To be fair, now he's smart. He understood that having thousands upon thousands of people post Andrew Tate memes would get him huge. It worked. But the problem is the dude's a scammer.
My
He's
my
not
life
a,
would have been better if I did not have that knowledge.
You're welcome. You didn't know. CoffeeZilla comes in clutch. I watched that video with about Tate with that Hustlers University shit, and it's such a
We
scam.
might have to cover that.
Oh, we're definitely covering that. I'm gonna send you the link. We'll do a video on that
we're
Tuesday
gonna
or
cover
Wednesday.
that. Not today, but yeah.
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna cover
no,
that.
I think when it kind of comes down to it, he is cringe, Jimmy Dean. I think that if that is your definition of male role model, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, for real. Police officer mag dumps into teenager. This was one of those situations where people are, a lot of people invalidate the Black experience, especially when we're talking about police brutality and excessive force. And oh wow, this is a bar right here. Look at that. Tate is collecting and monetizing weak men. I don't see any leader in him. That is a bar. People have ignored police brutality because per capita, it happens much more often to Black people than white. So they'll just say, hey, just don't commit any crimes. And, you don't have to worry about anything, right? I don't commit any crimes. I don't have to worry about anything. Here we had a young man that was doing what when he was approached by this cop?
Fucking eating a fucking McDonald's burger. Like, it was like...
The real criminal here is McDonald's. They sell garbage and fancy packaging.
Well, actually, so then technically, did the cop save his life by shooting at him? Is that what you just trying to say? Are you pro cop now? Are you Blue Lives Matter? I'm so lost now. Yeah. Hashtag Blue Lives Matter here. Fucking just it's like drop that burger.
I'm hating it.
I'm shooting it. Yeah.
Maybe he tried to shoot the burger out of his hand.
Bro, that's what I think. He just had poor aim. That's gonna.
I mean, he's a cop, so you know.
I mean, true.
We needed the Elijah kid.
Yeah, but like watching that video is like, bro, like, and the weird part, right? Because I remember this vividly. It wasn't that he just shot at him like right there in the parking lot. He started shooting down range while he was driving away, because like the first thing you learn in gun safety is make sure of what's in front and what's after your target. You know what I mean? Like what's behind it. And this dude's just dumping fucking 9mm down range. It's like, what are you doing, bro? It's like yo, because that guy with the burger in his hand, like, huh? Is like completely like dangerous. But yeah, hopefully that cop rots in prison. That was a fucking joke.
Yeah. And, because the thing is, like, some people will say that I'm a conservative. Some people will say that I'm a liberal. That's how I know I'm doing it right, because I try to analyze situations and not root for any team. Scrolling up, there was a really crazy situation with League Gaming.
Oh, yeah. So that's a website I used to play on. And they had a child predator on the website. They did ban him, but they didn't announce his presence to the general population on the website at all. And it was so like reckless that I can't put into words how fucking dumb that was. Like the very least you should do on your main fucking website is do a league-wide update saying this dude did this to children. Letting you know, so if you have interactions with this guy, you know full well his history and the danger that can come with it. And the funniest part is, I got threatened by Brody McDonald, by lawyers and all this stuff. Like, oh, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to send you a cease and desist. And I was like, dude, all I'm reporting is the facts here. And that was the funniest part. And I'll say this on a quick note. That third video right there, right, where I'm kind of being facetious, he thinks he's an idiot and he's not very bright. He thought that was me saying that like I was wrong, incorrect. The first like 30 seconds of the video, and I'll be honest with you, this is what I think allegedly happened, because I've had some people look into it. He edited that stuff retroactively because it's a forum post that started in 2018, so you can just edit it and then add somebody retroactively and you probably wouldn't be the wiser. And he's like, well, we posted this guy in like this small subsection of our website to announce his status. And I did the math, and I'm like, bro, that's like less than 5% of your user base even goes over there. Where your general population, where you months prior reported as predator, you didn't think it was wise to report to your general population again? It was weird. So like I kind of broke down the statistics. Like I said, the guys, he threatened. He's been online harassing me. He'll check my EA, my gamer tag. He got me banned off EA game for 3 days because in hockey you could have a player name, right? I put LGH children, and I got banned for 3 days, and he threatened to sue me, and I was like, bro. Dude, why don't you just mind your own business? Like, somebody that says all this character and says all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're the same motherfucker that didn't report a guy that would fuck children. I'm like, the levels here are completely different. Me roasting you for not reporting a predator on your website, and then you openly admitting it, that you knew. Yeah, I can't even speak right now. I'm as stupid as Brody right now. Admitting that you knew knew what he was on the website. Like, I have all the chats, everything down. Like, I sent it to the NHL. I sent everything over. So like, but yeah, that's why he sent me a cease and desist letter. No, he threatened to send me one. And I mean, big banks, these small bank all day, baby girl. So you want to go that route, let me know.
Not long after that, I did a video that I really think really needed to be done, because O'Shea put out a video that I thought was really important, as far as men are really working very hard to separate themselves from women to reduce the chances of any kind of accusations. And so, some people were thinking that, men were, trying to make women feel comfortable, and it is some chivalrous thing, when in reality, we're not really worried about the woman's safety, because we are the person that they're worried about, and we know that we're not going to do anything to them. So it's really not about them, it's about us. And so, I gave some of my experiences and some of the things that I've done, and we turned some of them into clips. And one asshole got himself banned because he just wouldn't let it die. But basically saying that it's false accusations aren't a problem; they're not real. Thinking about them, makes you scared, whatever. And it's like, I've been falsely accused in the workplace 4 times in a 10-year span. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've actually lived this. I've actually been through this. I'm glad that you haven't. That's great that you haven't. But obviously you don't know what you're talking about. And then, sadly, we didn't do a video on this. I intended to. But a school principal self-terminated recently after his own wife, who he took in as a single mother, made a false report to the police claiming that he physically abused him and her daughters. And there's another reason why a lot of guys are like, listen, man, he's like, a lot of guys are like, yo, you got to stop giving attention to and dating single mothers. You got to stop doing it. And this guy married a single mother, married into a very precarious position, because it's even worse when a single mother has daughters, because everybody assumes that the man is going to rape the girls. That's everybody's assumption, right? He took on that risk. He is the principal of a school, making good money, supporting his family. They get into an argument. I'm going to make you pay for this argument. I'm going to call the police and say that you did these things to me.
It's wild.
And then when she admits to lying, the cops are like, actually, no, we're going to continue with this investigation because you made the report. So it's easier to make the report than it is to make it go away. She lied. He went to Disney World or Disneyland, some Disney park, and then like jumped off of some high place and went splat on the ground because his life was ruined, even though people were saying that the accusations were false. And this man is dead now. right? That just happened.
That's crazy.
So we try to make sure we don't ban people from our platform.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you disagree with us, we would like to engage you, but you're not going to attack me on my own platform, not know what the fuck you're talking about. And then what makes it worse is that you get these reports of these things happening to men who are victims of
Domestic
false
abuse,
accusations.
domestic abuse, false accusations, all that shit.
Yeah. That was a crazy video.
You got to check that out. Yeah, that's something for the back catalog. I mean,
that was crazy. We had a pretty good discussion here talking about guys who are on death row.
Mm-hmm.
No one has ever been allowed inside the chamber, but the Supreme Court ruled that this man should be allowed to have hands on him as he passed away. I thought that was really really crazy. And of course, we had to thank JD from NY. And it's funny, he had some people say some slanderous things about him, and I wasn't good with it. And then he ends up, coming on our platform. And if I'm not mistaken, how many views did we get?
A lot.
We got a lot of views, right?
It was a lot. It was like 8,000.
8,100 views, which is our most viewed full podcast ever.
Yep. Over
8,000 views. Many of these views came after it was over, so people were still coming on and supporting. And we talked about some of the things that he had been through, and he basically figured it out the hard way. How difficult it is to be a public voice, and being in the public. And now people who are more famous than you now know who you are, and now they're talking directly to you and about you. Right? So that was really crazy. So we wanted to give Jay his flowers. This is a really funny video we did about these weed companies lying about the potency of their products. We got 1,000 views on this episode that we did. Fuck anybody who thinks that fucking with other people's
property is
fucking property because you don't like the fact that they own it. How about you stop being a fucking bum and crying about capitalism? Go out and get some fucking money and go earn it. Go own the things you want to own.
Facts.
Evander Kane's ex-wife is a piece of shit.
Yes.
And we covered that. You got some pushback on this video here.
Yeah, I did. I got a lot of pushback on that one. I mean, listen, and this is actually kind of the conversation where people say, like you said, they'll say I'm a conservative, say I'm a liberal. That's why I'm doing it right. That's how I feel too. Because I have people, you're just liberal. You turn to liberalism. It's like, dude, no, enough is enough. I'm done.
Well, an economic situation happened to you that kind of red pilled you on that whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work really hard for years, and you'll see prosperity. I mean, you gave your body to a company. I mean, and how did they treat you?
I mean, like shit. Let's just call it what it is, right? Like I got treated like shit, and like I'm one of these dudes, as you know. I'd go in overtime. I would do overtime while I was there. I would work like crazy hours. Like there'd be days I'd work like 16, 18 hours. Like on a manual physical job. And yeah, it's like this whole process that I'm dealing with now. Like I should have already had my fucking surgery, but it has been a disaster. It has taken far too long. I just want to get back to work. That's the funniest thing. I just want to get back to work. Like this whole situation is not for me. I just want to fucking be healthy and do my thing. And due to this injury, I'm limited. Like, I mean, as you know, we had plans to like work out, do a lot of different things, and kind of get back in hockey shape. But then this has just been derailing in a lot of ways. And the way I've been treated throughout this process has definitely opened my eyes. The great thing, though, about America is, though, if you're not happy in a certain situation, you can look into other opportunities. And once I get healthy, I'll be looking into other opportunities. I've already had some offers. So, I just think it definitely opened my eyes in some sense. And my union, because I'm a union company, has done fuck all for me. And I mean, that's why I'm not really particularly red, like Republican, or Democrat, because I think both sides don't generally give a fuck about you. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been failed by the company I've worked with and the union I'm dealing with. Pretty much told me, oh well, like you don't have like some injury fund or some shit. I'm paying you dues. What am I paying you dues for? Sorry, not to go on a big old rant on that, but it's just been
I mean, talk your shit.
It has been a frustrating since July, but is what it is. Yeah, but as for the I just enough at this point. Just let someone else run. Let someone else with a new voice. You're already tainted. You're already a negative. You have such a negative connotation. Like, come on, enough.
Yeah.
Let's start with some fresh blood. No. I'm gonna be staying on the water. I'm gonna be going with a company that appreciates me.
Exactly.
That's the difference. I'm gonna have I've looked into the Great Lakes. I mean, I have all the credentials you need. I've had offers, and the only thing that's holding me back is I need to get healthy. And I have a ton of opportunities. And I love working on the water. I love tugboats. I love working on ships. That's not going to change. But what is going to change is the company, most likely the company that treats me how they do. Because unless there's a big change in way they maneuver things, I definitely, I'm not going to name names, but I've definitely been less than fucking impressed.
Yeah. I did a short. When dealing with women, honesty is a requirement, not an option. And I just kind of want to go over this, especially for you guys out there who are still in the dating game. I matched with a woman on Hinge over a year ago, and I thought she was cool. Wasn't really my cup of tea from a physical standpoint, but I thought she was cool, and I think she's maybe a year or two older than me. Okay. And so like I lost contact with her, and then I saw her on another app and just kind of started a conversation up to see how she was doing. But then when I actually went and I studied her profile, she purposely misrepresented her age so that she can show up in search results that excludes her on purpose. Because again, men want attractive women. Women are never more attractive than prior to age 25. So it was one of those things where I thought she was a cool person, but because she failed to and she had an excuse about ageism, why she was lying, I immediately blocked her off of all social media that I was associated with her on, and didn't say a word. Men, you must require honesty at all times from women that you deal with, because if you keep dealing with these women with the makeup, the fake body parts, all the different lies that women tell, it is just going to encourage them to keep telling lies. Demand honesty, demand transparency, and nothing short of that. Your outcomes with women will be so much better.
The one thing is if they lie about the small shit, they're gonna lie about
the big stuff. Yeah. You did we did this Long Beach Griffey. We did a TSP react. It was the first time that. Funny. Yeah, that was really fucking funny. We had we really started to like really up the quality, especially like the quality of our commentaries are getting better, and they're going to continue to get better. The thumbnails are getting better. We're trying to make better use of the shorts and stuff like that. We talked about FTX. One of my good friends was victimized by this, and so I took it personally, and we did this.
Oh, not Lewis. Sorry, I thought you rifled. You hovered over something. My fault.
No. I just want to kind of go up a little bit. we did the live show here. I really wish that it would have gotten more views because I thought there was a really good effort that we made. But I have a friend who was victimized by this, and I felt like I wanted to say something on his behalf. And so, I just think that oh yeah, this is one of my favorite videos I've done, and the thumbnail, man. Yeah, we have a lot of, oh yeah, and the final video that I really want to talk about is what happened with this young man, a young 40 years old who self-terminated, and it definitely got more views than my commentaries normally get because it's a very touchy subject. And I do want to address a comment that was left on this particular video. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because I know we've gone kind of long here. But there was this one particular comment that I responded to that I want to. I said I was going to do a video on this, but I ended up not making the video on it. I should have. I wrote a whole wall of text too about this. Shout out to Bria Barrows. Normally, we don't really get too many comments from women that are very friendly, and definitely not from Black women because our type of content does not really appeal to that demographic. But this particular video did because Twitch Boss had a lot of fans all over the place. Bria Barrows said, "Society is also extremely isolating these days. I truly feel for people who don't have family and friends to lean on, because the loneliness life can come with, because the loneliness life can come with can be brutal. Sometimes people suck at caring, and it's always the caring people who get the short end of the stick." And my response to that was, sometimes that's not even enough. There's shame in looking at death as an option. There's shame in not being grateful or happy around family members. Though having an actively caring family does mitigate the damage that could lead one over the edge, I think the survivors need to know that in most cases, there was nothing they could really do to prevent the outcome. Her response was, "Great video. So what would you say is the solution then? How do we help people around us? This is scary and it can be triggering. Do we just let people die?" And this makes me very emotional to think about this because I had a friend that I was very, very close to that I think just unilaterally decided he didn't want anything to do with me. And I remember having a conversation with him when he came to my house and basically let me know, like, hey, I'm going to opt out. I failed at my attempt to opt out of life, but I really can't handle this anymore and it's time to go. And I was so grateful for the opportunity that he gave me to look him in the eye and be able to say my goodbyes. But what I told him was this: I would rather you be here, but it is not my decision. I know the pain that you carry with you on a day in and day out basis. And I can see why you feel like you can carry this baggage only but a few more steps before you have to put it down. But if it were my choice, whether you lived or died, I would rather you live. But since it's your choice, I have to respect your decision. I have to. I have no other choice but to do that. I'm going to choose to remember you the way that I want to remember you. A lot of the jokes when we lived in the shelter, we were both throwaways, living on the street as teenagers. You know, he lifted me out of a lot of darkness in those days, just with jokes.
Mm.
You know, he bought the cheap PS2 with a cheap little screen, and we used to watch movies on this little 2.5-inch screen that our face would be like up on the screen because the screen was so small. And he would call it punch and pie because we used to buy the Entenmann's pies that would go on sale and buy some juice, and we would sit there. We would cut the pies. We would sit there, eat the slices, and watch movies together in the homeless shelter. Right? Like, I'll never forget the positive impact that he has had on my life. But I can't make the decision for him. I can't tell him where to find the joy in life. I can't bear his pain. I don't know what it's like to be him. And this is what I would tell Miss Bria. This is what I would tell her. Do we just let people die? You do everything in your fucking power to make them want to live. But if that's not enough, you're going to have to make your peace. And I know that sounds, it makes me very emotional thinking about this. It sounds very cold. And maybe you can't see the humanity in that. But whether we like it or not, self-termination is a part of our lives. And since it is a reality, the same way guns existing, right? I think that even your most staunch 2DA guy, I think most staunch gun supporters, if you gave them the opportunity to erase all records of bombs and guns and the knowledge of them, I think most people would take that for reality. But the thing is, you can't do that. And when it comes to self-termination, I wish that it was never a thing. I really wish that it never existed. But since it does, we have to have our reckoning with it. We have to come to some sort of grips with the fact that it does exist, and then forgive yourself and forgive those who struggle with suicidal ideation. Because when they're gone, your anger towards them only hurts you anyway. They're already gone. All right. So maybe we'll cut that up and turn that into a clip and tag Miss Barrows on the video. Maybe that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to address her. That was a very thoughtful, wow, I'm really starting to feel the pain. It was very thoughtful, and I'm very, very appreciative. And this is why this platform exists. And we would not have these great perspectives if people didn't come and watch our videos. The last thing I want to touch on is, again, dealing with holiday depression. This was a very heartfelt video done by our very own Captain Paul. Can you talk about this a little bit?
I mean, yeah, this was a video kind of exploring and talking about how during around the holiday season, that's when depression's up, man. It's when people commit suicide. It's when just people overall don't know how to deal with all these emotions. And like, as someone as myself, I know someone very close to me that did take their own life around this time of year. It was a couple months after the fact, but it's just trying to make sure that people realize in their life they might not feel loved, right? They might not feel like they matter, but that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have those people in life that really do love and care for you. And, you know, me making that video, I don't do that shit for likes or views or whatever. I mean, if that reaches one person, right? Just one person to help, like, change their perspective, that's all that matters to me. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, we get so caught in sensationalism, materialistic things, whereas, like, just from a human element, you have value. Every single human being on this earth has value. And this actually does, funny enough, kind of correlates to what you were just saying in your in that situation, is you got to make sure that people understand that they do have value. Whenever they, whatever they think, like if they have zero worth or whatever, and I've seen that with a lot of people within my life. You got to try to make them feel like, no, that's the furthest thing from the truth. You have a ton of value to give, and you have a ton of things to give to this world. Unfortunately, like you said, and I agree, you can't. You do everything in your power to prevent it from somebody taking that grave step. But I can't control what happened. I can't control people's decisions in life. All you can do is, while we're here on this earth, is try to, make people feel as loved and cared for as possible and build them up as much as you can. We here, like we talk a lot of shit. We have a lot of fun, but the good thing and the great thing about like our relationship is we build one another up, and I think kind of being a little bit more maybe thoughtful in a way, and making sure that those ones close to you in your life know that you love them. Maybe it can help some of this some of this depression.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought that was a really important video. I really loved how raw it was. It wasn't like you got in the studio and you carefully um you very carefully you didn't like carefully like curate it. You didn't like make sure the audio was perfect. You're like, yo, I just need to speak from the heart right now.
Yeah.
And I think that
I think that's when when you're most raw and you're most vulnerable. Because I think there's no problem with a man being very open with thoughts and feelings on these type of matters.
Right.
So
Anaru, definitely hit us up on back channels, and
100%.
We'll get a meeting going, and we'll have a real conversation. So yeah, we definitely got you on that. And the last thing that we're going to cover, and I'm actually very proud of today's live stream, and thank you for sticking with us, Cap, because I know you're a little uncomfortable, especially with the hip, right? Mm. But I want to talk about the last 5 works that we've done, including this one today. Okay. Mm. We did a 3-part symposium, TSPs 48, 49, and 50. Mm. Okay. Obviously, I fucked up and named this particular podcast 50 because I did a copy and paste by accident. So I'll fix it. It says TSP number 51. But if you look at the last 5 works that you did, you're going to see very much how we're evolving the platform going forward, because it's great to have a look-see at what we did this year. And I'm very proud of what we did. And I'm very proud to be associated with somebody like Captain Paul to work in a project like this. And I cannot stress that enough, Cap.
Same here.
I'm not sure that I could make this work with literally anybody else. And you know how I know? Because I fucking tried. Okay.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah. But you see this 3-part symposium that we did covering the whole Logan Paul thing. And again, you're seeing the talent of Gina. Everything that I asked for the thumbnail, she whatever is in my head, she puts it out, and then my vision is there. And I love that. And you will see that we did this December 27th, 28th, and 29th. The 28th is the most important part because that's a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And we are telling you right here, right now, unless some extenuating circumstance happens, no matter if we don't even have a whole lot of stories to talk about, even if we're just going to talk shit, this is the Talking Shit Podcast.
Yep.
At 11 a.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, one or the both of us will be live for 1 hour. Okay? Now, we did Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And this is something that Cap wants to make a ongoing thing where you can look for us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 11 a.m. in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep that up. I'm going to damn sure try. But this is where we're going as a platform. We want to bring more content. We want to bring more conversational type bits to you people. We want you to be more a part of the conversation. And we don't think that we have all the answers. We don't think that we're better than anybody, but we're going to just try to be better. Each and every time, be better, get better, and bring better content so you and your friends and other people will want to join this community. You'll also see this too, and this is another thing. You'll see that we streamed twice on December 29th. That was the day the Tate brothers were arrested. And I hit up Cap, and what were you doing, Cap, when I hit you up?
I was asleep.
So normally what I would do is say, fuck it. Maybe we'll just do this together tomorrow. But I was like, nope. I ended my video game live stream on Dr. Evil Genius, where I'm streaming High on Life on Xbox Series X. Go check that out on my channel at dr_evil_genius on YouTube. And I've been streaming that. I got off the stream, got on here, and, you know, breaking news, we need to get on it. And we need to talk about it and give our positions on these kinds of things. And then, you know, today we were just going to, actually, our original plan was to record a video on the legacy of Pope Benedict XVI, who bit the dust earlier today. So, or he became dust earlier today. And we wanted to talk about, we'll probably get that video out next week. But I was like, yo, let's do a year in review. Let's get this content out there. It's a special day. And I'm glad that we did this, Cap. I'm really glad we did this.
No, for sure, man. Me too. Sorry, my hip. For sure. I think great show. 2022 was good. 2023 is gonna be our year. So
fuck yeah, man.
Make sure you stay Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you know what? There's probably gonna be some week something pops up. I'll make a hologram. Figure out something. I don't know. But you know what? I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate everyone that has come by, supported us.
Anybody in the chat have a Discord link? Because I'm not seeing my Discord thing here. Because if Anirudh is on Discord, I want him to show up in our Discord. And I don't have that here.
You want me to share the Discord link? Hold on.
Yeah. Share the Discord link. Anirudh, hit us up on Discord, please. Make sure that you send me a friend request. If you've already left the stream, then I'll hit you up on the back channels on Twitter. But definitely join the Discord. We'll get yeah. And I think, you know, we can probably collaborate on a video talking about men's struggles because, again, you know, we kind of need to wade through the troubles before we can start to find solutions. And the first step is to validate and acknowledge the struggles that men go through. That's the first thing we have to do. And then we can start working on things to make things better, because when men are doing better in society, society is better.
Yeah.
There's just no way that you can get around that.
Nope.
We tried the men are bad. We tried the demonizing of men. We tried elevating women over men and saying that women are better than men and physically stronger than men and more mentally capable than men and better leaders than men. We tried that. It doesn't work. So what we need to do is to kind of hash these things out and work through our fears, our experiences, both positive and negative, and then look to see where we can make ourselves better, and by proxy, the viewers, you know, give you something to think about, something to munch on mentally when we go off the air, and then hopefully you come back hungry for more. We've got a lot more content. There's content we've already recorded, haven't put out yet. That's coming. We're going to be putting out a whole lot more content for y'all. And so I'm really excited about where we're going in the future.
Me too. I mean, good building block year. This year, though, we're going to take the next step, and there's going to be a lot more commentaries on my end. There's going to be a lot more commentaries from Evil's end. There's going to be a lot more production with the quality, a lot more quality in the production in which we are giving. And I'm truly excited, and this is going to be a fun ride. So we're probably going to wrap it out here.
Yep.
I'm Captain Paul, and that's Dr. Evil Genius. Thank you again for supporting this channel, and it's really been fun. Thank you for coming by the stream. And anything else to say, Evil?
I guess I'll say this.